Director Pompeo, welcome to the Reagan Library. It's just an honor to have you here. Thanks so much for coming.
John, it's great to be here. Thanks for including me.
You know, Director, I've read that you are close to the President. That's a great thing. Obviously means he has a lot of trust in you. And yet I sometimes hear in the press, oh, well, that makes the director political if he's too close to the president. And I wonder, how is that conceivably possibly a negative when the president listens to you and you're there on a daily basis giving him intelligence?
You know, my task every day, I get a chance to be with the president with great frequency to deliver this incredibly important information, this data set, so that he can make informed policy decisions. The fact that I have that opportunity is quite incredible. It hasn't been that case with lots of presidents. This one has not only permitted but demanded it. He wants to know the truth and asks hard questions of us, ensures that we're delivering that to him, not just the CIA, but the entire intelligence community. And so from my perspective, it has been a great benefit to American national security that we're able to give the president this information in a way that he can contextualize and understand it, and then help the broader policy community get to the right place so the president can make the best decisions for America and the world.
I have to think, you know, oftentimes people analyze the morale of the department, the agency, and, you know, many people work there their whole lives, and there's intelligence professionals that dedicate their lives to it. And so morale is always a big issue. I have to think that the morale has to be pretty good at an agency right now that has the ear of the president, as you say.
I think that's true, but I think just as important from a morale perspective, this is an agency that was built on mission, that has always been focused on just getting stuff done. And this president has permitted us to do that. He is demanding, he demands the intelligence community execute the mission, the national security mission. He's told us what his priorities are, and then he has empowered me, and in turn I have allowed the agency to go out and crush it, to give unfair advantage to the United States of America. And so I always think morale is best at the CIA when these officers who have volunteered to come to the clandestine service to be part of the world's finest espionage organization are unleashed to do their job. And that is certainly the case today. My expectations for my workforce are incredibly high, and I think that's something that they thrive on.
You know, speaking of crushing it, I've read that you know, they say, oh, well, you know, Director Pompeo, he's all about, quote unquote, aggressive intelligence gathering. And I just have to ask myself, well, what other kind of intelligence gathering is there?
Yeah. For he who is on the back foot, come no shoes, right?
Yeah.
You got to get after it. And that's what our officers are doing. I've traveled to a whole bunch of our teams across the world in my first 10 months, and I've watched these officers respond to the stimulus. That is, we're giving them all the capacity they need, the resources they need, the authorities that they need. The president has been incredibly generous in that way to the CIA and the intelligence community, and we have them leaning forward, out doing difficult things in hard places against ornery adversaries, and that will serve America well.
Right. Now, I know you have to be careful in every sentence you make about ensuring you keep things that have to be classified. I read recently there was a Heritage Foundation report, public, and I just wondered, the numbers seem odd to me, and you don't need to give an official intelligence estimate. I just wonder what your reaction is. They said that with the North Korea situation and the ICBM problem there, that by the year 2020, if we kept on this pace, that the North Koreans could have as many as 100 ICBMs pointed at us. And I wondered, that might be an exaggeration, but can you talk about the situation there and how grave of a threat you see it as being?
Yeah. I think the best way to think about their capability to strike America is not about whether they have one missile or 50 or 60. That matters for sure, but about reliability. That is, if Kim Jong-un were to get to the point where he believed he had a credible capacity, a reliable way to deliver and hold America at risk, that's the risk point for the United States. And so there's lots of talk about, can the reentry vehicle make it or not? I'll leave that to others. The intelligence community has a view that I won't share today. But suffice to say, every time he tests, they get closer and better, and their reliability, that is the prospects for Kim Jong-un to calculate that he can successfully deliver a nuclear weapon to the United States increases. And so the world's risk increases. Our mission is to decrease his capacity to do that reliably through diplomacy and all the other tools that are available to the president, and then ultimately to achieve the president's goal, which is the denuclearization of North Korea.
Last question for you, Director. When you leave this position, knowing what you know now about the challenges and the threats and the work you're putting in each day to address them, where do you think you hope to pin your greatest success? Is it going to be on the defeat of ISIS? You know, do you think you'll be able to look back and say we stopped North Korea? Is there something in particular, from an intelligence perspective in particular, where you'd say, okay, that's where we deserve the trophy?
I don't know exactly where it'll be. I hope we achieve success for the president and the country on in each of those theaters and against each of those adversaries. As the director, one of the things that I'm counting on is that I will leave behind an organization equipped to continue to conduct espionage for the next 20 years. A workforce that is fired up and with leaders capable of executing the mission, technology in a place where we are cutting edge, best in class along multiple dimensions, and an understanding of our place in the world that is consistent with the tradition now 70 years on at the C.I.A. If I can do that, if I can leave for the director after me or the one after him or her, then I'll feel really good about what I did during my time on duty.
Terrific. Mr. Pompeo, Director Pompeo, it's just an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.